Hey, Mr. Wonderful here. I'm going to review a video which I think is kind of very interesting, if not important. Living on $515,000 a year in Berkeley, California. This is Millennial Money. Find it on YouTube, and don't forget to destroy that like button. I mean, I love videos like this. Let's get into this one. $515,000. Is this guy joking? I mean, that's crazy. That's really good money. Let's find out more.
I didn't like the thought of putting money aside that I couldn't touch. I wanted to be able to invest everything and have it be tangible. But through the advice of my siblings and my CPA, I do contribute about $1,500 a month to my self-directed IRA, which...
First, right out of the gate, this guy is doing something very important, putting aside a portion of his income, $1,500 a month into his IRA. Genius. You have to do that. Now, maybe you don't have $1,500, but you have to take at least 10% of whatever you're making and put it aside into an IRA is a fantastic idea because you want it to start compounding at 6 to 8% a year. That's what the market's given people for 100 plus years. And that's what you're putting aside for your nest egg when you turn 65. So this is really important. I like this guy already. I don't even know who he is yet, but smart.
My name is Sahil Mehta. I'm 25 years old. I make around $515,000 a year, and I live in Berkeley, California.
So what we have to find out is how is he making $515,000 a year? What is he doing for that? Whatever he's doing, I'd like some of that. So would you.
I work as an executive assistant for Herman Chan at Golden Gate Sotheby, and my day-to-day really can be largely unpredictable. I make a commission on every deal that we close, and fortunately, the real estate market here in the San Francisco Bay Area has not...
Okay, now I know what he's doing. He's working for one of the most successful brokers in the world selling really high-end real estate. And because he's doing all the logistics, that broker takes a portion of the commission he makes, generally 1, 2, or 3% on a 20, 30, 40, $50 million house and gives it to this guy. Now, there's not many jobs like that in the world. You have to be really, really good at executional skills. This kid is going places. That's a lot of money to make in commissions. Very impressive. I'm really impressed.
It has not slowed down. It has only increased year over year since I've started. And a lot of it has to do with, market timing.
Okay, here's some other news. He and his brother have almost $10 million invested in their own real estate. I mean, that's obviously they're probably renting it out or they're taking speculative bets, but I bet you there's leverage involved. And I don't know yet, but they've borrowed money to do that. It's really hard to make $9 million and have that as free equity. So they're borrowing money, and therein lies the risk.
So I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. My dad was a practicing physician, and my mom was a business owner. My family sort of lost a lot of what they worked so hard to earn in the market crash of 2000 and 2008. And so at an early age, I learned the importance of managing money and managing risk.
You hear that? Managing money and managing risk. He lived through the downside of the crash, and his parents lost a business, it sounds like. Very traumatic, very hard to work so hard and then lose it all. Now he has that fear and that understanding of how the markets can giveth and they can taketh away too. And so he's become more conservative in his thinking about taking risk. Everybody should think that way. Just because everything's working right now doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. You have to have a nest egg. You have to have some cash set aside for when the bad times hit, and they always do.
I don't pay any rent right now. I live in a building that I own, and I try to keep it that way.
Okay, let's look at the monthly budget here. I mean, the majority of what he's doing is savings. That's way more than half, which is incredible. Most people can't even get near that. They're lucky to get to 20%. This guy is really focused on de-risking his life, and that's just remarkable. Discretionary, $300, that's okay. Travel, $460. Food, $700. You know what? This guy's eating well. Probably eating healthy stuff. When you're spending that much a month on food, you're eating well, which is important to avoid getting stressed out. He's saving $10,000, and in addition to that, he's putting $1,500 into an IRA. I mean, the guy's almost at 70% investing in himself. Really important. Very impressive.
Elon Musk, to many, is a pretty big role model to me. I ended up buying Tesla Model X. It was my dream car, and I just feel so fortunate to be able to buy it, but then also just use it.
Tesla Model X, probably one of the most expensive models Tesla will ever make. I have one too, I love it, but it ain't cheap. So this guy is really doing something interesting. He's trying to invest in the best of everything, which is something my mother taught me. It may sound crazy, but don't buy things you don't need. And when you do need something, get the best you can buy. It's the highest quality. It may last the longest. Same in clothing, same in cars. Very important. He's able to afford it.
At the end of the last year, I found out that there was a way that I could buy the car and write off the entire amount if it weighed more than a certain amount. And so I discovered that the Model X qualified. So there's definitely moments where I will splurge on, looking good and eating good, because I have a membership at Equinox. Sometimes I don't make the best use out of it, and I know it looks that way, but I do try to go to the gym.
Okay, some new little nuggets there. Number one, he bought the car so he can capitalize or depreciate it and write it off. Very smart. That means you pay less tax. He's probably got some depreciation schedule. That means he takes a portion of the purchase price and applies that against his income and writes it off. Very smart. So he doesn't lease the car. Number two, membership to a gym. We just discovered it. Why? Very important to work out every day if you can, or at least make sure you do it a few times a week, and he is doing that. And he said he's eating well. Very smart. Very smart.
While attending my senior year at Berkeley High School, I discovered that there was an option to take concurrent enrollment for classes that transfer to UC Berkeley at a discounted rate or completely free. And so I aggressively took as many courses as I could to transfer. So graduating high school, I enrolled into Berkeley as a junior instead of a freshman.
Smart move. He found free courses. Sahil found that these by just looking. You always have to look for opportunities. You should be online looking for opportunities like this, but he took some of those classes for free that applied towards his college. And you know why that's smart? It reduces the amount of money you have to invest, because you're getting, the time you're there is less, so you have less college debt. Shrewd kid. Ooh.
My brother and I own 5 properties now in close proximity to Berkeley campus. We bought half of our portfolio last year, more than half of our portfolio just in 1 year. Doing all this while working as an executive assistant, it does give me a little more enjoyment because of the control. I'm not told what to do or anything, and so part of that is definitely better.
Pretty cool. He partnered up with his brother to buy 5 properties. Basically what he's doing is playing off the student housing market, because everything is near Berkeley. Kids are coming in and out all the time and looking for a place to live. He's probably renting out these houses to multiple students at the same time. But, working with your brother is interesting because they grew up together, they trust each other. If you're going to get into business with a family member, you've got to know, blood is more important than money sometimes, but sometimes that can also be a headache. It's not a true business relationship, it's a family business relationship, and they have their own challenges. But it sounds like these guys are doing very well right now.
Sometimes I could wipe out entirely what I made in a month, but generally I like to save more than half of what I make in a month. More if possible, but sometimes, expenses that come with property ownership, it sometimes can be very...
There's the key to success, saving half of what he makes a month. So few people can pull that off, but that's really why he's been so successful so far. Probably his brother too. Saving is everything. It gives you that cushion of security. Takes stress off you, and it's good to know you've got that pillar, that foundation for when you start your own family. And when you're making this kind of income, $500,000 a year, you need structure. You have to optimize for your taxes. You need professionals to help you, give you that guidance. But he's basically putting corporate entities in place so he can write off expenses inside of them because he's running a business. He's got all these properties. That's why it works. And getting and understanding this level of sophistication at an early age is very powerful for later in your career. He is an entrepreneur. It's highly unlikely that he's going to stay forever working as an employee because he's going to keep building up this portfolio of homes and become basically a landlord. I'm just speculating when I say that, but he's good enough to pull that off. So far, I don't see any mistakes being made yet, at all.
But the combined effort of my siblings and I, we were so fortunate to stay true to our mission of helping our parents and providing to them like they did to us. And so we were able to have them retire entirely, and they like are now living close to us. What's theirs was ours growing up, and so like now what's mine is like I feel like is theirs. The most important lesson I've learned about money is to be patient. The money that I make doesn't really change my why. It just proves that when you have your reason and a really grounded mission, the sky is the limit.
You know, many cultures take care of their parents in older age. That's what he's doing with his brother. That's very, very noble. But to be able to do that, you've got to start working at a young age. And that's exactly what's happened here. We should do more of that in America too, because it gives you goals early on in life. Everything Sahil has done here is pretty well executed. I can't find a mistake in what he's done. The only thing I would be concerned about is if he had too much leverage on his houses, but he's probably smart enough to have fixed those mortgages so he knows what the monthly nut is, because you can get fixed rate mortgages in sort of 3 to 4% right now. But this is a flawless portfolio. Incredible executional skills, great family values, and focus on savings. I'm giving him 100%. I rarely do that. Look, impressive. This kid got it right. Congratulations. And Mr. Wonderful doesn't do that often. I don't give hundreds. Never happens. Congratulations to this guy. Don't forget to subscribe to CNBC Make It, and also check out CNBC Money Court. Yep, my new show on CNBC. It's fantastic. You'll learn a lot there. Anyways, till next time, salut.